Hello, everyone. Welcome to our event. This event is brought to you by Datadog Club, which is a community of people who love data. We have weekly events, and today is one of such events. If you want to find out more about the events we have, there is a link in the description. Go there, click on this link, and you'll see everything we have in our pipeline. Then, important, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. This way you will get notifications about all our events, awesome events like the one we have today. And last but not least, we have a great Slack community with people who love data. So join us if you want to hang out with other data enthusiasts. So we have a workshop today. So during the workshop, usually we don't use Slido. So all the questions you have, please put in the live chat, in the live chat of YouTube. And I should open it on my phone, so then I see all the questions. And oops, I think I need to open that link you sent, right? Miro Word.
Yes, please.
Do we need to send this link? It's just for me, right?
It's for now. It's just for you, Alexei.
Okay.
So, so are you going to present me, or shall I?
Yeah. So maybe before we start, can you please send me the link? I'm sorry, I forgot to. I cannot find it.
It's in emails.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. So yeah, please. Sorry about that. Please, Larysa, the floor is yours. Maybe you can represent yourself.
Okay, okay. Let me do the work. Okay, I'm Larysa Visengeriyeva. I have a software engineering background before I switched to the academia, where I got a PhD in augmented data quality here in Berlin Technical University. After doing my PhD, I switched to the industry, back to work, and my focus right now is probably the ML ops, and in the meantime, it's the decentralized data architectures like data mesh, and the topic what I'm going to work with Alexei through is about finding the machine learning use cases. So where is it actually reasonable to put machine learning into our process, into our product? So what feature of our product will be backed by a machine learning model? And the methodology what I'm going to present today, because it will be learning by doing, is actually a real-world use case, and the methodology I developed by myself, where I combine the domain-driven design knowledge crunching method together with machine learning. So, and I wanted to say before we start, it might be very confusing. It is sometimes confusing because you need to know a lot about probably domain-driven design, and you probably need to go through the domain-driven design trainings before you become proficient in these methodologies. But stay with us; it will make sense in the end.
You mentioned that I'll be the subject of today's workshop, right? So, because I do not know any domain-driven design, so it should be fun, right?
It will be fun, because yes, I I used to do presentations about this, but you know, but this kind of knowledge is better learned by doing, and so let's dive into it. Yep. So I'm going to share my screen. What do you see?
I see a mirror board.
You see a mirror board, and you are not on it, right? So I see you. Okay, good. So, so what we are going to do today? So we we're going through the two parts where I explain the use case, the case study, where we also like an example, which we will take and work through it. As I mentioned, this is a real world example, so you can find you can find a system on the internet. You can actually buy this system. Then after presenting the case study, I'm going to explain very briefly, very shortly, all the phases of event storming method of domain-driven design. Meaning, so we won't cover all the domain-driven design. It's impossible. So, if you want to study domain-driven design, you need to reserve 3 days to go full days training on that topic. So I will present only one part of the domain-driven design, namely knowledge crunching. And then I think we discovered during the event storming, we will try to find a solution for the problems in our system. And so we are with a data doc, so we will try to find a solution for one of the use cases by using machine learning and by using machine learning canvas, which is another framework, what I will going to present to you, or rather let you go through the through this canvas. So for Alexei, it will be a lot of cold water. So let's do it.
I'm excited.
Good. One organizational moment, we will have a couple of minute breaks. So just for you, do not be surprised. Well, okay, let's start with a topic. The topic, the code name for this workshop is DDD4ML. So we are looking for machine learning use cases with event storming and machine learning canvas. And as I promised before we start, I will tell you a story about how it went in actually my work some time ago. At my company, we developing so I work for the consultancy company, and you can imagine that as a consultant, we're traveling a lot, and we have a lot of expenses, like buying a train ticket, going to the restaurants, having lunches, whatever. And in the end, after each travel, so we have to submit these expenses to our back office to get a refund. So and this is a huge part of my daily job. So every consultant outside there can imagine, can feel my pain. This is kind of work no one is loving to do, and this was the motivation for the Larysa Gorilla, which is the system for travel expenses. to submit the travel expenses, and everything went well. So it's quite a funny system, and quite easy to work with. And at some point of time, we got a message from the back office that people kind of stopped submitting the travel expenses during the month. They are doing so. They started submitting the travel expenses like in the end of the month. So, and this caused a lot of stress on the part of the back office part, and they just ask what's going on, why people stopped submitting the travel expenses during the month, and why doing they under pressure when they like being forced to do this. And yes, so I was quite new in this team, and what we started, so like we wanted to discover the what was the cause of this problem, and we started a survey where we asked our colleagues to describe like what part of the system is difficult to understand, or what is the most frequent procedures they need to do, or what is the most time-consuming part of the. We got a lot of response, but one thing caught our attention was this emotional, like emotional sentence. So I don't want to interact with the system for a long time. And this was actually the spark of the idea that we have to automate a lot of workflows in our system. We have to, but what the many people in our team were new to this system, and first of all we had to understand what's going on in our system before we introduce some kind of automation into it. Yes, and here we go with a method. So we decided to use the event storming knowledge crunching method from DDD. To discover the domain, to discover to brainstorm all the business architecture, business processes with the help of domain experts. So we will use it as to find the opportunity for machine learning project, and then we will dive into exactly this opportunity with the machine learning design canvas. So let's go with the event storming. So let's start with the first part, the event storming. So I don't know, Alexei, if we have the possibility to provide this board as a backup to our listeners. What do you think?
You mean if we can send the link to them?
No, actually, so actually I don't want all the people, so like you said, 300 people to go to this board, but we can, so I can create a backup, like it will be a file, so people can just download this backup and use it for themselves. Is it kind of possible?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone who is interested in this mirror board, so don't worry, we'll provide the backup board file of this mirror board, because we have on this mirror board we have a lot of additional information for everyone who is who is about to dive deep into this methodology. Okay, let's start with the event storming. Event storming is kind of brainstorming where the business problem is investigated with help of domain experts. And as I already said, the event storming is a tool which is coming from the DDD community. On domain-driven design you can see domain-driven design as a philosophy of aligning the software design to the business as a business architecture. So because they believe so if we have this alignment between software architecture and business architecture, we can evolve the software as the business is evolving. So, and how we can do this? We are doing this when we take the whole business, which is the whole domain, separated in the subdomains, and create these modules in our software, which correspond to the business subdomains. And the one way to discover these subdomains is by doing the event storming. Event storming is I love this methodology. I really like the event storming because it's very inclusive and it's collaborative. So it's inclusive because you don't have to do the expensive trainings to learn about this. You just need a facilitator who will tell you what to do, and you can just start doing. And it's collaborative because the goal is to get a shared understanding of everything what's going on inside the system. And you can do this when you have all the domain experts and tech people together. Okay, so and what do you actually need for the event storming is a wall, a clean wall, so like a modeling surface, and that's it. Okay, you probably also need Post-its and some kind of something to write. That's it. And you also need the facilitator, like someone who already did event stormings before, who can navigate you through all the phases. So in total, we will have 7 phases where we go through this understanding of the business processes, and the first phase is the kickoff. So let's imagine I am the facilitator because I've done a lot of event stormings already, and as a facilitator, I would explain you, Alexei, and the whole team that we have 2 we have a color grammar in event storming. So we will use orange Post-its to write domain events, and we will use pink Post-its to write hotspots. Everything what is unclear, where everything what is like information is like misleading, something is weird. So we will put it on a pink Post-it to address it later. But one thing about the domain events is domain events isn't things happening inside the flow and things what are relevant to the domain experts. They are always written in the past tense because stuff is already happened and can be changed. This is like one of the few rules, so there are not many. So, and as a facilitator, so you remember we are trying to model the travel expenses system. I'm putting on the on the right side the like a last event what happened, the expense exported to the accounting. So in this way I'm going to get a frame like a boundaries, because we cannot model, we cannot do event storming like endless, yeah. So we need the boundaries. And I set the scope by putting the last event on the right. Okay, by doing this, I showed you how it works. And I can imagine that the whole team now is able to write something on a post-it by using a pen. And this phase called chaotic exploration. And you can see it looks like a chaos, yeah? So everything we know about what's happening inside the flow, so we just put on a wall the whiteboard and yes, and we will need to consider the timeline. And you see, so no one is aware of the whole system. So you know, the systems being complex and especially enterprise systems are huge and complex, and we have with event storming we try to put all these pieces of knowledge from any people on a whiteboard. So you can imagine, like, it's now here. The invoice has been sent via email, or the corporate credit card transaction has been imported, and so on and so on. And this is the chaotic exploration phase where we put everything on board. So, okay, this might, so this is this phase of silence, because everyone is just getting their brain dump on a whiteboard. And the next phase is the enforcing the timeline. We have to, the next phase is, so we need to structure. We need to structure all that chaos, all the flows of the processes and events. We need to get into the structure, and there are two strategies. Two strategies to do to find the structure is to identify processes within the system. And we call it in DDD, we call it the swim lines. Like there are three processes in the beginning. So you can import the credit card transaction by if you use a corporate credit card, or you can import your invoice into the system via email, or you can use a file upload to the Reisekosten Gorilla. So, and you can imagine that so these processes can go in parallel. So there's no sequence requirement. So they are not obviously sequential. Another strategy is to identify the pivotal events. Pivotal events are like the most important events in the system, where we can see the change of state in the system. Like, for example, if here we submitted the expense in one of the three ways. So next, then something next is happening, right? So for example, so the credit card transaction successfully imported. So this is already in the system. So this is not on the user side, right? So and if we submit the expense, now our expenses are at the back office part, right? So, and these are pivotal events and like most important events, and we mark them with the vertical lines, which are pivotal events. And what you can see now is probably you can see the kind of structure of the processes and events which are going on in the whole system, yeah. Alexei, if you have any questions, if something is unclear or you are thinking what's going on here, so you
a lot of information. But luckily for me, I don't know how many people are like me. I had to use a system like that. So I kind of know what you're talking about. So yeah, it's more or less clear.
Okay, good. So shall we skip?
No, but like the first part is clear, right? So the second part is like after so the first part is the user submits something. The second one is enrichment. So this is, you said it's done by back office, right?
This done by the system.
By the system, okay. And then the last part is done by the back office.
Back office, yes. Right. So, but you can imagine that we have. So you can imagine if we think in the software modules terms, right? So you can already imagine the packages of the software which are responsible for what part of the system. So, like roughly speaking, very, very roughly speaking. Wow, let's go to the next stage. So, like you can imagine that our software systems rarely work by themselves or autonomously or so independently. So there are always people inside the system. There's always external systems which interoperate with ORs, and this kind of information need to be added as well to our board. And we extend our color grammar to system and policies, which is like big pink post-it. The comments are like something what caused the event. Like a user pressed the send button. So and the folder has been submitted to the back office. So these kind of comments. Yes, actors, which will be or people who are submitting the travel expenses. And that's it. So, and the next step is to extend our knowledge about the whole system with people and external systems. So external systems, we don't have any so we cannot control the external systems. Yeah, and you can imagine, so we have the AirPlus system, which is involved into our credit card transactions. We have Mailgun and Genie systems who are which are responsible for the mail path of invoice submission. And you can see here that somehow a user uploading the file, which is the part of the manual invoice submission to the system. So so you can see. So we are slowly getting the whole picture of what's going on within a system. Right, and now is a time of explicit walkthrough, where we nominate someone. Like I would nominate you now to select a happy path or one line of end-to-end walkthrough and tell me the story. So you would, I don't know, you can choose the invoice import via email, and you can go. So okay, let's try. So okay, so Alexey, you are nominated to go through the for this part. Okay, and explain. Tell us the story.
Okay. And the story is that I, as a consultant, want to submit an expense, right? So I don't know, I ate lunch with a client. Now I have a receipt from the restaurant, right? So I want to submit this receipt to the system. So what I do is I take a picture of this receipt and send it to some system mailgun, right? So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Okay. So then mailgun, I have no idea what mailgun is. Sends email with invoice to Gorilla. What is mailgun actually?
It's an external system which give you like if you which sends you it will give you an email where you can what you can use to send an email to this system, and which will then connect to your account.
Okay, so then through this system we get the email, right? So then from this email we extract the picture of the receipt, and then we send the picture to an OCR system, Genie, right? So Genie extracts all the information from there, like, I don't know, items, prices, total price, VAT, whatever, like all the things that are in the receipt in a structured form. Then there is a JSON output from this Genie system that we use to well, like it's parsed output, right? And then for each item, or I guess in general for the entire receipt, we try to understand what it is, right? We see that it's a receipt from a restaurant, so we categorize it as a lunch with client, right? And then we see, what is the VAT there, and then we create an invoice in our system, and we assign that this user, me, what is in this case an invoice? Why do we need an invoice here? This is like a thing inside the system, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So it can be invoice, it can be receipt, depending on what the type of expense, right? Okay. So then we have this thing created inside the system, and then it's assigned to me, to the user who created this. And then I am done with this. I click submit, right? And then it goes through. Well, it's successfully imported, right? And then it goes to the back office, right? So this other flow, enrichment of expenses.
Yeah.
So far, so good, yes?
Yes.
So this part is less familiar to me because I usually, as a user of a similar system, end up and at submit at the submit button. And then now I need to think a bit closer what is happening. So
it's actually yeah, okay. So actually we would have to go through the event storming to understand all the stuff, but this is actually, if you created the invoice in our system, so you can actually add it to some folders. So, for example, if you use a train for getting to the restaurant, so you would put the like a train ticket to and bundle it into the one folder,
for
and
example,
then
there is a
submit
project, right? So a project for this client, and then everything that happened in your business trip to this client is one folder.
Exactly. This is one folder, and then you submit a folder. Except instead of one receipt, one invoice.
When I come back, right, from the business trip.
Exactly.
Okay. So I submit the folder, and then at the back office they check if everything is all right. I guess sometimes maybe a team manager needs to approve or decline, right? I say, okay, like a nightclub is not I think we want to reimburse, right? So like we will cover the lunch and the train ticket, but not the nightclub, right? And yeah.
Okay. So have you ever tried?
No. Do you think it would be accepted?
Okay, yeah, we should try for the so just to check if it really go through the expenses. Okay, yeah. So sometimes the some like there are some like the address is wrong address is placed on the receipt, or there's I don't know, something some additional information is needed. So usually these kind of problems we have, or we don't provide the VAT number in our formula. So this kind of not the going to the night club.
Okay. But this is expense check, but then the expense approved or declined, right? That's the thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, and then it goes to the accounting system, right? And that's it.
That's it, exactly. So, and then you will get the your expenses, your money back. Yes, exactly. You already discovered, you're kind of familiar with the left part of the system, and you are kind of familiar with the right part of the system, but in the middle it was for you something what is like unclear, or you don't have the information. And exactly for this purpose, we're doing this explicit walkthrough. So to discover the gaps, the knowledge gaps in our teams. And answer the honest question: do we understand the system completely? So is there any knowledge gaps? So because if we don't understand the system, we cannot implement the system, we don't understand the problem, so we cannot really address it with a machine learning model. So and if you stumble on something during the explanation, so this is the point of time where we try to clarify and close the gaps. So and this is where the discussion within the team, it's so people are getting very excited and they discuss and ask questions, and And if we don't have answers or we have questions which don't have answers, so we put them on a pink post-its and like we'll get to it later. There is another strategy which is really funky to try to explain the story backwards. So like when we start, so the expense is exported to the accounting and go to the opposite direction. So it's very funky brain exercise, but let us discover the gaps much faster. And but it's an advanced technique, and don't try it if you don't use to event storming. Now, when we like, so look at this picture. So actually, you got the big picture of the system. So actually, you see what kind of processes are inside the system, what kind of external systems, where is human is involved, and so on and so on. And this is actually enough. So we got this shared understanding of everything what's going on. And this shared understanding of the system is the prerequisite for the successful machine learning project. Because we need to know where we incorporate our machine learning model. Yes, so what do you think, Alexei?
You mean in which part we need machine learning, right?
Okay, we are working with this sentence with this feedback from our user. I don't want to interact with the system for a long time.
So it means that people are hesitant to use it, and they postpone it, right?
Exactly. And so we have an hypothesis that we need to automate stuff. We need to pre-fill the formula, the form for the expenses submission. So, and this kind of automation need to be done. And so you already feel it sounds like a machine learning. Yeah. And so, but before we dive into machine learning, we need to identify what kind of places, where is in the processes. So is the machine learning model, let's say AI would be reasonable.
Yeah, well, I see that we have this parsed data from the receipt, right? And then I guess we need to do something with this parsed data. So we need to understand what are the line items in this receipt or invoice. What is the price for each line item? What is the total? What is the category of the entire invoice?
So
and I guess this yeah, please.
I'll put it like this, like pain point on this in this place, just to indicate that here could be the opportunity to automate this stuff, right?
Because I guess this is one of the reasons that like people need to do some manual stuff here, and instead of doing things manually, we want to help them do that, right?
Exactly. So let's take as much as possible from the user. So and this as much as possible would mean so like pre-fill the form as much as you can. So okay, this is one place, right? And we will we will indeed continue working on this on this part of the system. But you can imagine that if we look at the whole system, we can identify more opportunities to automate stuff, like for example, assigning expenses to folders. So we can automate these assignment to folders, for example. Yes, so people don't need to like manually do these assignments. So just let's do this for them, or what else can be done?
So since you zoomed in here, I guess something here could be done. Well, checking the expense, right, so that there are no weird values there. Like it's not, I don't know how much machine learning we need there, but I guess some might be needed. Like to see if it's everything is fine, right?
Some kind of fraud detection, or
Okay.
I don't know. So, but theoretically, we can do this, right? So, okay, this is on a back office side. So we would help the back office people to work through it, or wait. So we can the expense approval, so can be automated as well. So if we actually want, but you see the idea, right? So we would on this stage we would look into all the processes and identify the spot of identify the opportunity for machine learning use case.
Yeah, so there is a question. So what are the advantages of having this flow for machine learning? Like, why do we need to think about the entire flow for our machine learning applications? Like, what does it contribute? What's its contribution to?
Because machine learning systems always is always just a part of the whole system. So machine learning models, machine learning systems rarely exist in isolation by themselves. Yes. So think about Amazon. And think about the recommender. The recommender system doesn't exist in isolation. It's always a part of their complete web page, right? So you have as every system, so we will have an input and we will have an output, and we will integrate. So the problem is actually well known. So the workflow integration problem. So we will have to design this workflow. So we will have to inject the machine learning system, machine learning model into the existing system, and we cannot do this unless we know what's the upstream, what is the downstream process.
Yeah, makes all sense.
So, and as far as I know from the literature, for example, the Booking.com on their system, they have 150 machine learning models. I don't know, it's still the number, but every single machine learning model is responsible for just one feature, but this is a part of the whole system, the whole software system. And we will design the machine learning, a couple of minutes, we will design a machine learning system, and we will need this information, what comes in and what's going out. So like you will dig into this part. So, and you will need to have this category, right? And you will need to get this number. And in between, we will design. But this is set. This is why we need to know it. I hope I answered the question.
You did, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next part. From the experience, I can say that we will discover much more problems and opportunities than we will be able to solve. So this means we will need to to filter the opportunities which are for machine learning, suitable for machine learning. And exactly these use cases we are interested to solve. Yes, and now we will get this. Oh, you see, so there are many. So already pre-filled. You can see the parts which can be actually marked as opportunities. So, but we decided that we will dive into this part of the system and try to automate the category detection and the VAT number of the invoice. So let me skip this part because we won't get into the machine learning canvas. As I told, we will focus on this part of the system. But it was a good question. I mean, why we should do this, and I can also add to the question or to the answer that I don't believe in generalized data science. So like data scientists to be able to solve problems from the business, they need to understand the business quite well. And this is a quite common issue that data scientists are like placed on the one planet and the business placed on the other planet. So, and they don't, so the data scientists don't know how business is functioning. And I think with such methods like a big picture event storming, this is quite accessible way to learn about the domain, to learn about the processes, to understand the processes, and to be able to ask a right question and to be able to solve the right problem. And this problem, like a data science solution, should be aligned to the business. And I saw a lot of examples where data science is not aligned to the business.
Yeah. So in these examples, were the projects successful?
Say it again.
In these examples where you saw it, were the projects successful at the end? Did they did they have success or they failed?
Okay, I can tell you that at least we could in this way we could identify the wrong direction. And this is always the misunderstanding of the domain from data science perspective. That's it. Okay, let's go to the second part. And I see the clock, and we have a half 30 minutes.
Yep, it looks like that.
Okay, but I think the most difficult part is over. So now, when we understand the whole process, we understand the domain. So now we understand where we have to like put our machine learning solution in which part of the system. Now we can like connect the business problem with a machine learning problem. And for doing that, I have another framework for you, which is machine learning canvas, which is doing exactly that. So like solving a business problem with machine learning methods. So I have a lot of stuff here. We will work here, Alexei. Okay. So, and I will explain the machine learning canvas on this board. So, machine learning canvas is a framework for prototyping machine learning projects, and is also to create a roadmap for a machine learning project, to assess the feasibility of a machine learning project. Will this create value, to anticipate the cost? So we basically were trying to save money like by avoiding a wrong proof of concept. Yeah, by going through all the aspects of machine learning project, and think if we have gaps there. So again, this is a collaborative method. So I recommend filling out the machine learning canvas within the team to get a shared understanding of what's going on. Because everything we will touch everything from the requirements to the infrastructure. So, and everything we will put in the machine learning canvas will have an impact on the like the MLOps processes. Yeah. So let's start filling out the machine learning canvas. And in general, machine learning canvas consists of three parts. The middle part, the tower, the value proposition, and live monitoring is about formulating the problem and formulating the solution or value proposition. So what we are going to do, who is our end user, so how they will benefit from this machine learning system, and so on and so on. So we formulate the value proposition. The second one, which we will fill out, is the live monitoring. So live monitoring is about the validating the metrics, which will help us to validate this machine learning model from the business perspective. So please don't put here monitoring metrics like F measure or RC or whatever, like a technical. This is about the business metrics. So after we filled out this, we will get into the prediction part, which is left, and then we will go through the training part, which is right. So, Alexei, I would like to invite you to this workspace, which I created especially for you. So please go to the board. And look, so the task is, so let's imagine, so we filled out the project name made by your team name, so all that meta information. Your task is actually to formulate the value proposition. You can use this you can use this
Which use
template.
case, by the way, are we VAT extraction, right?
I would suggest to focus right now on the category detection. It will be easier.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so the value proposition would be to help automate this step, so to make it easier for users to submit expenses, right? So they, instead of selecting this thing manually, they would have it pre-selected by a machine learning model, right?
Yes, absolutely. You can just grab a sticky note here on the left.
Okay.
Yeah, and exactly. So we are helping end users
By pre-filling
the or by pre-filling the form for the expense submission.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can also be more specific here, and you can also add a notice. So we will. So in this case, we will fill out just one field in the form. The category field. So, of course. So right now we are just in a learning environment. So in general, there will be there are more fields there. We will need to fill out more. But for now, we just focus on this tiny part. And again, right now, so describe the workflow. So actually, this is always good to come from the to just zoom in from the bigger perspective to the narrow perspective and describe the workflow. And by doing the event storming, we already describe the workflow, what's going on here. So here will be our machine learning part. Yeah, here will be the ML part. Yeah, and the complete workflow is already there. So, and this is why we it's very convenient and easier for us to describe all the workflows. Okay, what do you think in terms of business validation of our machine learning model? What kind of metrics could you imagine? Could you imagine to monitor to prove that the future machine learning system is solving our problem? How do you know that you are having a success in business terms?
Yeah. So first of all, I would see in how many cases we can actually categorize the expense, right? Perhaps that, and then in how many cases users will correct the output of the prediction.
Exactly. So please write it down. The ratio of correcting field information. So
which of correct. How do you say issue of correct?
Issue of correcting cases, like how many times user corrects the pre-filled form, or ratio of
number of field corrections. This is when they don't agree with the provided prediction. That's, I guess, the main one. But also, we may want to monitor like how many people stopped at this step, right? How many people did not submit, because this is what we want to at the end automate, right?
So like a conversion rate, yeah.
Yeah. So should I
And
edit?
think, yes, please.
CVR conversion rate, right?
Also, maybe when we think about, or we see this pain point, we see user doesn't want to interact with a system for a long time. So probably time can be a metric for us.
In which sense, like day of the month or something like this?
No, how long will it take to submit? So like the end-to-end process. So the invoice is accepted, or invoice is submitted. Yeah, exactly. Time. So we probably will want to like minimize this number.
Or time to submit, right? So not time
or
to
times to submit.
Time to submit an expense from the beginning when they sent I don't know, an email to the time they actually click the submit button.
Yeah, exactly. So you got the idea what kind of metrics we are looking for at the live monitoring. So yeah, good. Okay, great. So the next part is about the prediction task. So it's about the prediction, like a model on a job. Yeah. So and we will start with the prediction task where we actually translate the business problem into the machine learning problem. So we describe what kind of inputs, outputs we are expecting, and what kind of machine learning algorithm would be reasonable to apply here. So and so we are working. So again, so the input and output, we can have a look at the event storming board, and we immediately we will see what kind of information going in and expected to go out. Yes, when I work with on my workshops, so I usually do some kind of game here, dot voting. So and I ask people to select an algorithm which is suitable. So, and you can see, you can select between reinforcement learning, clustering, association, dimensionality reduction, classification,
I would go with
regression.
classification.
Let's do it. So let's just so like people will put the cards on this place and do the dot voting, because not always the situation is that clear.
Yeah, and then input would be like these line items that we extracted with, or like in general this JSON output, right, from this.
Yes, we will get a JSON input. So and we the output. So what do we expect? We expect a category of the expense, right? Exactly. Yeah. So and this is a number of categories, and so like we are data scientists, we have no idea what kind of categories. So we would so in this case we would invite a back office folks to our workshop, and they will tell. So people, dear data scientists, so we will have a train, we will have like a taxi. Taxi category, we will have like lunch, we will have a charge, or all this kind of stuff, and you would, and we will just together write these categories down. So you can actually put two sticky notes
I should
here,
put
like
it, right? JSON.
Yeah, you should, in JSON and for example, train. Train taxi.
Launch.
Yeah. Usually I would devote for each category separate, but let's here. So okay. But the workflow is clear, right? So we know now it's getting like concrete what kind of machine learning we are going to use. Let's go to the decisions. In decisions, we actually were getting closer to the user, and we describe here the how we turn the predictions into the how do we expose the predictions to the users. So because machine learning models will provide you with like probabilities. So, and now you have to integrate these information from machine learning models into the whole system.
Well, I guess we look at the category with highest probability, right? And then we take it and use it for pre-filling the category value, category field in our expense system, right? And then there could be like a rule like this. There should be like some decision threshold when we do this if we want.
Exactly.
Or we can just select the max.
Exactly. So probably you can quickly write it down.
So select the category with max probability or max score maybe.
Yeah, we can also another example would be if we would like to provide a better user experience. Maybe so you know, machine learning systems are stochastic systems. So we can provide a drop-down menu with probably categories sorted in order, in descending order of the scores. So maybe the right category is like the second one in the list, yeah. But with this sorting, we will provide a better user experience.
No.
Right. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to the making prediction, and we will specify what kind of inference it will be. So if we look at the user journey, and this is why we have to understand what's going on. So what do you think? Would be real-time prediction? So whenever a user submit the expense, so the category will be determined, or is it a batch prediction? What do you think?
So I think since it's a part of the flow, user flow, so I'm interacting with the system. I don't know, I send something. I know, I probably expect the result immediately, right? But
I would also expect it immediately. Yeah.
Because we do this in the system, right? So we upload something and then we see. On the other hand, I remember that the case we discussed was about sending something by email, right? And if we just send something by email and then like this is collected somewhere, then it could be a batch process. But I guess in this particular case, it should be online.
Exactly. And this is the part of the canvas where we should discuss all that as like and if you like the inference type, and if you go deeper, so we understand that we're trying to to get the requirements of the system here, and this will have an impact on the operational side of machine learning. So should it be a batch process? Should it be a real-time process? So because the implementation of the infrastructure aspects of all these questions are also different.
And then I
Okay,
see
so
that there is also this time available for this, right? So the user, we don't want them to wait forever.
Exactly, and there might be cases where we for feature computation. So if there's some expensive processes for feature computation, so do we have a time? So probably we have to switch to batch inference and so on. So all these kind of questions should be clarified here. Okay, so we decided to the real-time prediction. So let's go to the impact simulation. And I suppose this is the most confusing part of the canvas because this is a part where we try to simulate the whole business process. So we try to identify what kind of trainings data we have, what kind of test data and how we decide that this model will solve our problem. So this is actually this model can be deployed into the production. So you can imagine this is a critical part if we first introduce the model, and also can we think about the benchmark, non-machine learning benchmark, which should be implemented, and or machine learning system, which will be implemented, should be a baseline. So so
I can think of two baselines here. But I guess I interrupted you, right? So you wanted to finish something?
No. Go ahead.
So one baseline could be just always selecting the most popular or sorting the categories by popularity, how often they used, and
the
then
histogram.
Histogram, yeah. The second one could be I don't know, just keyword matching, like we see word restaurant somewhere in the output in this JSON, then maybe it's food. If we see like I don't know Uber, then it's so not like a machine learning model yet, but like just coming up with a list of keywords, like maybe spending 10 minutes on that. Could be a good baseline too. Exactly,
and the important thing about the this heuristic benchmark. So you will come up with a heuristic, right? In case of a failure of your system, so we can immediately or before we implement the machine learning, we can put into the production this heuristic. So and if the machine learning model failed, then we can back up switch to these heuristic immediately. So in this case, to guarantee that the whole system is running.
So the baseline part is kind of clear, but I did not understand the other things. Like
for example, so we will have to come up with a strategy where we select. We will have to think about what kind of data we will use for training, and what kind of data we will use for testing to decide if this model is valuable to put into production. So will this model get us business value?
So by testing here, you mean not like checking accuracy, but looking at the part, the number 2 thing that we did, right?
Yes, and probably also see if the model, the cost of the errors. Have a look. So what does it mean if we get false positives. So what is the cost of the errors of model?
I will not put it there. I see that we don't have a lot of time. Maybe we can move to the
Yeah. Okay.
other things.
Let's go. So let's go to the right part. And we'll get quite quick here. So the left part was about the prediction. So how the prediction is working. So what are the requirements for model serving? Now we are going to go into the model training part, and you can imagine that model is trained on data, and the building blocks, two building blocks, number 7 and number 8, is about data. So what data sources first? What data sources do we have? What data sources do we need to build our model on the left?
And this historical data that we have from past invoices, right?
Exactly. And usually in this part of so there's some interesting stuff is it can happen here when you dive into the data sources, because often we can realize that before we start the whole machine learning project, we will need to finish the data engineering project, where we just get the data ingested from the sources, because for example, we as a team, we don't have an access to particular data. So, and we'll get all the like legal stuff, all the all these data governance and so on and so on. So in corporate world can be can take years.
So we flag these issues in this block number 7, right? We say, okay,
exactly.
like we have this data, but it might be tricky because we need to talk. We need
exactly.
to speak legal. So yeah, we add
exactly. So and right. So we will get to the number 8, which is about collecting new data, because as we know, there's a issue, or not issue, there's a phenomenon of model decay. So the machine learning models need to be retrained, they need to be renewed, and to do this, so we'll need to collect data, fresh data, yes, and the strategy. We'll write here the strategy, how do we collect new data, because this is the fundamental engineering, data engineering part for our machine learning project. Connected to the data collection, we also go to the building model part, which is and what is the rate of update of models. And it also depends on the use case. In cybersecurity, models being retrained every single hour. But I think for our case, what do you think?
Maybe every once in a while, when, for example, there is a new category added, then we would need to retrain. Otherwise, should be fine. Like using the usual model. I don't know, every half a year or something like this.
Okay, we so in reality we are retraining every 3 months.
Okay.
Just I don't know. Somehow someone decided this, but because you see, this is not that critical aspect of when we know the models need to be retrained, but it is not critical. So elephants will look like elephants also in 5 years. So that's the but requirements for model retraining. should to be put here, because it has an impact on the MLOps infrastructure.
Okay, I guess at this point, like if we have domain experts in the team with us, we can ask like how often it happens that we need to add a new category or split an existing one into like 2 new categories. And then if it happens like quite often, then it's clear that probably we need to have like a good training pipeline, things like that, right?
Exactly. So, and how exactly. So all the automation aspects. So they often you have to retrain the more automate your processes should be. So that's like a simple rule. Okay, the last one, the last part of the canvas is about features, about feature engineering. What kind of features do we need? And you can imagine that all this bias, fairness aspects of machine learning can be handled here as well. So should we identify, do we have all this gender specific, all this, the demography specific features? What should we do with that? How expensive the feature engineering is. So and all that like leads us to the like, do we need feature stores? Do we have other teams? Do we have other teams who are using the features? So and so on and so on. And probably you might identify here by asking domain experts that you need additional features for your machine learning models, like weather, sales of the ice cream information here. And this will, of course, connect you to the data sources, because you will need additional data sources. Well, what should I say?
Well, I have a question. If do you maybe already have this canvas pre-filled somewhere? Because we kind of rushed through. Okay, it's here. We rushed a bit through this.
So you actually, we actually have two canvases for you. One is about the priority inbox example. So you can imagine the priority inbox example is quite classic. But everything else for regarding our use case is pre-filled here. So enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. And then there is also a question. Yes.
Yeah.
There is a question if we can export this Canva as a PDF file, if it's possible, or it's too much work. I don't know how Miro works. Like
I think this it's possible, but I don't know if like
we will see this. So anyways, we will create the backup file. We will put it in the description of the video. And then if it's possible to export the PDF, we will also do that. So we'll, I guess, need to figure this out. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish?
I hope everything made sense, Alexei, for you.
For me, yes. I hope for everyone else too.
Okay, good. So otherwise, shall we invite people to our festival?
Of course, please.
Okay, so now because the DataTalk community is the community partner of the Women in Data and AI Summer Festival.
Maybe you can just share the screen with the conference page. It has such an awesome design, so it should be.
Good. Okay. Let me invite everyone of you to the Women in Data and AI Summer Festival, which will take place here in Berlin on June 30. So the end of June at Radial System. Very nice location. We will have we will have, wait, I will show you this beauty. So we will have a complete, the lineup is complete female. So the rule is that only women are allowed to be on stage, but everyone is welcome regardless of gender. We will have three tracks: data engineering, machine learning, data science core, and the ML ops, ML in production. We will have festival spaces. We will have festival spaces about building the personal brand on LinkedIn, or Bold Vision workshop. So we are working on getting AI entrepreneurship workshop and financial independence workshop on the festival. Yes, we at the end we will have a techno party. So one day, one night, hardcore data and AI, and the end techno party.
So this ideal system is in Kreuzberg, right?
It's immediately on Ostbahnhof.
Okay, so this is the techno district, right?
Right. So everyone is welcome. Please join us. Please share this. Because it will be a community event. So we are getting all the female, and not only female, all the tech communities on one place and celebrate the exceptional woman on stage.
Great. Okay. We will also include the link in the description. So thanks a lot, Larysa, for joining us today, for doing the workshop. Yeah, we probably should have allocated a bit more time for this workshop, but despite lack of time, we finished everything.
I have to say that I have a training, and this is a 2 days training. The stuff which we put into 90 minutes, it's actually 2 days training.
Oh yeah, we did quite a good job. You did quite a good job at condensing it into just 1.5 hours. So thanks a lot for doing this, and thanks everyone for joining us today. And yeah, I hope you learned a lot of new stuff. And I guess, I don't know if you can hear noises, but I need to go.
Yes. Yeah. So see you.